Homeowners Bert and Betsy Reese are thinking beyond their own piece of paradise.
I'm fascinated by it every day. I look at it all the time.
And they're happy to share their pictures. What an improvement as they worked with Lynnhaven River NOW on what is the largest residential living shoreline that LR NOW has ever been part of.
We already have, spat growing on the oyster castle. It's really, really, really beautiful.
The Reeses have lived in their waterfront property on Lincoln Bay in Virginia Beach for more than 2 decades, and they have watched their shoreline erode over time.
And it was just it was like 18 to 24-inch drop-offs with just the mud exposed, the roots of all of our vegetation exposed.
The Reeses say construction next door made it worse. Now it's a feast for the eyes and a feast for wildlife on their 2,500 feet of shoreline.
What's amazing is the wildlife that it attracts. We have skates and we have everything this is like looks like a buffet in the morning. The birds.
Before we even got the grasses in, we were getting horseshoe crabs, which I had never seen before.
Vince Bowers, the Living Shoreline Coordinator for LR NOW, says he wishes more people shared this same excitement.
We put out to residents of Virginia Beach that we're available for consulting if they have erosion problems on their shoreline or if they have stormwater runoff issues.
And the Reeses bit.
It was approximately 300 tons of sand that we had brought in by barge.
Volunteers helped to place more than 1,000 oyster castles in the water.
37-pound blocks of concrete with oyster shell in them. After just a few months, we were seeing quarter-size oysters all over the oyster castles.
There's fencing around new grasses, and while the Reeses wrote a personal check, the project would not have happened without so many volunteers.
A lot of these were so young people, and that gave me a lot of, it was cool.
Yeah, it's emotional.
Like I said, for someone that's born and raised here, it is nice to see that another generation that's coming up and that wants to help take care of that.
Bowers says we can all be inspired by the Reeses thinking beyond their own beauty, even if your own project isn't as massive.
Water quality is basically starts at the watershed. And that includes not only the shoreline property owners, but people who have a storm drain in front of their yard.
Neighbors will come down to see how everything's going.
Yeah.
So what it's done is it's certainly educated us, but it educated our community about what it takes to do it well.
LR NOW is still offering assessments on property that may need an environmental shakeup. For Chesapeake Bay Media's Bay Bulletin, I'm Cheryl Costello.